By the 1830s, slavery was unique to the South. The northern states had completely abolished slavery. Some, at the time of the American Revolution, had hoped slavery would die out. Um, Northerners, in particular, felt that this would happen, but even Southerners, such as Thomas Jefferson, thought that the institution of slavery would eventually die out in the South. But it continued to expand actually in the 1800s, moving westward and into the deep South as more states entered the Union. By 1861, when the Civil War began, there were 4 million slaves in the United States. If you recall, at the time of the American Revolution, there was 500,000. So it had grown significantly in the 1800s. And slaves were 1/3 of the Southern population by 1860. And slavery continued to remain the foundation and the basis of the Southern economy. And the institution of slavery was fundamental to Southern society. This was largely because of cotton and the expansion of cotton into the Deep South and the West. It was the largest slave crop in the 19th century and became the most important commodity on the international market. It was the raw material used for making cloth, for textiles. A lot of it was shipped to Europe and England in particular. 75% of the world's supply of cotton came from the southern United States. And cotton was an intense labor crop that required millions of slaves to keep up with the output. So over half of the value of total US exports was based on cotton. This meant that the cotton was valuable not just for the southern planters, but also northern manufacturers, merchants, and bankers profited from cotton production and the institution of slavery, which made it much more difficult to continue to abolish slavery and to continue that trend that people had hoped for during the American Revolution, because people's economic interests were at stake.